My name is Hugh Hamilton. I was born in Lahore, which is now Pakistan, in 1938. I was only in Lahore because that's where the better hospitals were. They are a British military hospital. My dad worked on the railway, and I don't remember too much about Lahore, except that I was born there, and I think once or twice we've seen an aunt who lived there. Went and visited her, and that was about it. I think my dad was either in one of the smaller stations that he was in at that time, but he must have gone back to Kohat or other places like that. I don't even know where I was actually born, if I'm quite honest. Well, where he was at when I was born. So my mum just came to Lahore to be in a proper hospital. You had everything there, big houses, servants, and just about everything. And yes, so I was going to grow up and be anything. I didn't know, and nor did I really expect sort of partition. So you were quite happy in what you were. My schooling would have been up to a mixed school till the age of 11, which I went up to Dalhousie boarding school, which used to be for 9 months up there and 3 months home. And then I would have gone on to a school in Simla, where my half-brother was at school. And that would have been my thing, because everybody, they separated over there, the boys and girls at 11. You know about the British Empire, don't you, from Robert Clive to everything else. And a lot of us, a lot of my parents and their generation integrated and mingled and married, outside their thing. I mean, from my mum's side, she was just Irish and Scotch, I think her parentage was, or whatever. And my dad's side, we're not too sure of him. As I explained to you earlier, that he was an orphan. He was brought up in the Church of England thing, orphanage. So, yes, I believe on one of the papers, he might have even been born in a French settlement of Pondicherry. There used to be 3 settlements in India, the British, the French, and the Portuguese, or something like that, I was quite young, so I didn't go into the history of it too much. You had servants. Now, apart from your servants, you didn't have things. I can remember playing with the cook's son a lot, and a lot of people didn't do that. He was about my age or a little bit older. And if I was going somewhere shooting with a little air gun or something, he'd come on the back of the bike sometimes, if I didn't have anything to do, and go and, take him around. So, yes, I mean, I got up to quite a lot of things. My dad, as I said, always had a big house and everything else to go with it, and servants. And apart from, you didn't integrate, because all the people on the railway, you knew the people, but you were never invited to their houses or something. We had friends who came over, but they were like us, Anglo-Indian, or even some perfectly British ones who weren't even Anglo-Indian, I didn't, we took it for granted there, and I was never aware of people looking down on you or anything else like that, But I think when we came over, and we came over on the SS Batory, at the start, the dances and everything else, were really nice, and pictures. They had cinemas, dances, pictures, swimming pool. You used to get up to all the mischief you can. In the gym, they had one of these horses. I can remember when I used to dismount from there, I used to turn it up full thing, and the next person who got on it would be given a good old rough ride. But it was a nice boat, and you had New Year's and Christmas on the boat. So they had New Year's and Christmas dances on there, So we enjoyed that. It was like a 3 week, I think, nice trip. We used to have a friend, a Mr. Perry, abroad, and he used to stay with us sometimes. And first, when my dad first thought of coming to England, because after partition, we were going to come straight away. But my aunt in Norwich said everything is rationed. This is the last place you want to come to at the moment. You better wait a while and something. And then this Mr. Perry said, look, Ernie, Swindon is a railway town. Why don't you come and settle there? And he was good enough to put us up. And I remember my dad, we had a biggish taxi, and I don't know how many of us got into it, but he just went to a taxi. He said, I don't want to bother with trains. No, I'll just get a taxi to Swindon. So I always remember it was £10 and 50 pence. He gave me a 50 pence tip. We were a bit crowded, to be quite honest, till we think, but my dad was really good. He had his Provident Fund, what they used to call like a pension you have here. So he was able to get a house in Ferndale Road, right at the bottom of Ferndale Road, 609, I believe. And I think it wasn't too much longer than a month. I don't know. Chiara would know what my sister would say. But I think it was ever so quick. We got a house, because he just paid cash for it. Most of his Provident Fund went on that. I mean, we were playing with the kids in the street, where in first, I forgot what street he was in, Mr. Perry's house. But, the kids used to play with us, and we were all right. I don't know if anybody had banned it. Up till then, I didn't know. But my school days, as I was only in there for about 5 months or 5.5 months, it was ever so quick, and it went by. You made friends and things like that. But after that, and I started work at 15, you had to in those days to help your parents and all that. And I can remember, I suppose the most thing I remember was being really embarrassed. We were told we had to do different jobs in the house. And my dad asked me to clean the windows, and Mum and Dad liked to clean the windows and brush the yard. And I felt really embarrassed to be able to do that, to have to do that, because the servants used to do all those things, or dig the garden. So that wasn't one of our jobs. Mind, I was 14, and a half, so... and I was wondering how many people seen me do that, demeaning the sort of job, I thought. We had nice neighbours as well. Mr. and Mrs. Ferris one side, I remember, an old couple. And they were absolutely amazed that I always remember, because when I left the school, and my younger sisters, Jean and Zoe, they came top of their classes. And they said, wow, hardly 6 months and they're coming first in class, So I thought, but personally, my education was very broken because after partition, we were part of it. A special convoy of troops came up and got us down and dropped us in Lahore, in a convent in Lahore. And after that, it was quite hard to get good schools. I was usually more out of school until my dad was stationed in Rawalpindi, and there was a convent there that allowed children up to 11, mixed up to 11. After that, you had to, leave. The boys had to leave. I remember seeing, we weren't quite aware of it because we were only school kids, We were up there and you could see the school was fenced, and if you looked at the papers, you'd see it was a very nice school, and the photographs that we've got. And you could see something was going on. And then all of a sudden you were rounded up, all your clothes and all that put in a thing, or what you could take, you know. And there were 3 truckloads of troops and 3 truckloads for the children. And you had a bishop and a few nuns to look after us going down. And I remember going through Amritsar. That was Sikh Punjab, isn't it? And then, once you got through there, like the bishop saying, well, I've got a pass, I've got a pass. So that was, And you went through too, because I can imagine my mum and dad being absolutely sick with worry, because we were one side of it coming down, and they were the other side, northwest frontier, I believe, in the Kohat. I've always said, in our time, our parents didn't, talk about things like that too much to us, But I didn't come across, even all this about, Goethe pointed out about only blacks and no blacks and dogs, but it was actually no Irish black and dogs, in these places that would be for rent, So, the poor old Irish were even included in it, so you could call them racist, but, they were calling the Irish, banning Irish and thing, because you used to get a lot of Irish navvies coming over to work on buildings and roads and the infrastructure. I personally never seen it, but I heard about it. When I was when I started my apprenticeship, there were 1 or 2 funny people at work. And I remember somebody saying I was winding somebody up and pretended to get me, come here, you little black bastard or something. But would that be really racist, if you think of it, because I was brown. and there was only one bloke who was nasty. He wouldn't have much to do with me, because one bloke said, he thinks everybody who comes from there is a wog or a fuzzy wuzzy or something like that. He had something, but that didn't worry me. I did remind that bloke later on in life when I had to go back, and I said, I remember you. You were a right sod, yes. And I just said, would you like to repeat any of the things you said over there? And he, I don't know what you're talking about, and away he went. By then, I was into weight training, swimming, hockey, and I was getting to be, a pretty fit sort of bloke. So I knew I was Anglo-Indian, and I've never, ever said I was anything else. I don't know what people, I couldn't be. My dad was what you would say for think colored, and my mum was white, so what do I go as? We were Anglo-Indian, And as I didn't know actually what thing my dad was, for all I know, he could have been French, in France or something, in Pondicherry. Why would his dad or whoever produced him, be in Pondicherry? But it was quite, they've never said that's about all we knew about my dad. I knew the Pharisees, when those houses were new, paid £400 for it. The end, because that was, Ferndale Road is one of the longest roads in Swindon. And we were 6 or 9, about 4 or 5 from the end. And you had a nice big field at the back of the house and all to run around and play, and we joined the other kids there. So, no, I didn't really feel too much. And I can't ever remember people saying we don't want you or something because you're black or whatever, I out of it. It might have been different for my sisters or, But by then, I suppose it was going quite a long time after the war. And a lot of other people were coming in. I suppose the Windrush people and all that, who were first sort of in, the first people to get near there, where they were needed to build the country up again. Most of them tend to settle in in Manchester Road, was it? You did get the idea of them settling there. But I must say, I didn't really. You sort of either, I was, well, that was your thing because you spoke English and it was your mother tongue. I didn't know how to speak to them in their language, apart from sometimes Mum would say, call the cook, and you'd say, boy, cha, or something, whatever it was, the words. I believe in our school, just before I left India, they then made it compulsory subject, but that was about 3 months before we left. So I said, look, we're leaving, 3 months. What's the point of me trying to learn it? Although I regret that. I wish I had learned, a language, different language. Probably my passport says I'm British, so I see myself as British, I've been here longer and lived here longer. I was 14 when I left, and and I've been since 53, 7th of Jan. So it's been a long time living here. So yes, a bit. I suppose there's definitely a more diversity, if I was to be honest. But you're always going to get a bit of, sometimes now the word racist is used on daft things. If you're against people's, what sort of gender they are or something, if you don't agree with them, you're racist and you're this and that, If you don't like something, if you say something, discuss something, if you're not part of the Greens or hugging a tree or something, you're being racist and all, But that word is now bandied around a lot more for not the right reasons. Just take life as it is and, get on with it. Don't look back and say, oh, it was really hard. We had a hard time. Don't get me wrong. When I got married, and by the way, I've been married 60 years to my charming wife there. I have to say that. She said, get that in. So, you get on with life. Even when I had to go in the army, you knew all your friends had to go before you. So I never thought, you didn't give it a second thought. You just went in the army and done it. And if that had been a place, if it had been racist, that would have been it, but not one person. There was only two of the lads, two Jamaican lads, and one was a really good mate of mine, Danny McNaughton, I believe, yeah. He knew me for years and years till his wife died. I'm not sure if he went back to Jamaica. But otherwise, I got on, used to be out on the town with the blokes and do what old soldiers do at the weekends. Have a good time.
You want to go into detail about that?
No, thanks. I'm very fortunate. I've always been. You need a bit of good luck and you have to work at things. You can't just have it, you're married. I've got a beautiful family. I've got 2 kids, and we had 2 kids and 5 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren now, So I think I'm sort of very fortunate. I was able to retire when I was 60. I thought I'd take early retirement because most of the blokes, they never made it. A week or 2 before or a month before they'd keel over or just after. And they never enjoyed their retirement. So I thought, here's a chance. BMW offered a very good deal to anybody over 55. And I said, whoa, first down the road to HR, and got out. And since then, I've had a lovely life. I've been all over the world with my family and, with my daughter and with my son and his family. So, yes, I've been so fortunate. I don't know what it is, but I can't say I've had a bad life. I do believe some people in life go back too much on the hard times. Look forward, enjoy yourself. And that's what we try to do. We go out quite a bit with my family, which I'm very, very lucky to have. So I can't say I've had a bad life.